Hey babe, how do you feel about Nazis?
How do you feel about Jews?
How do you feel about Jews hunting Nazis?
How do you feel about Al Pacino leading the whole thing in the new Amazon Prime original, Hunters?
And we're reviewing that coming up
Next.
What's up, Colmo fans? My name is Bruce Moreau.
And I am Stephanie.
What's up, guys? My name is Bruce Moreau.
And I am Stephanie.
And guys, we are here to review the new Amazon Prime original series called The Hunters. This came out on February 21st, so it's not exactly brand new, but it was new to us.
New to us.
Exactly, it's new to us, and we were super excited about it. So we watched all
10 episodes.
10 episodes, and we have our thoughts on those 10 episodes for you guys. You guys are so lucky.
It's really interesting what we have to say.
So this show was basically, if you watch the intro, you know, it's about a group of Jews hunting Nazis in America. And this was set in
1977, New York City.
And it was, the whole group was led by Al Pacino.
It's a pretty big name for Amazon to pull in for an Amazon Prime original.
Yeah, and he was definitely what drew us in for wanting to give this a chance. Also, the whole thing of Jews hunting Nazis is pretty cool.
And they make it seem pretty badass when you watch the trailer.
Yeah, so we were pretty stoked about it, and we dove right in. So how we're gonna do this review is we will do our non-spoiler review stuff at the beginning. We'll do a big warning, and then we will go into the spoiler stuff, where we will get into some of the detail. I mean, it's 10 episodes. We're not gonna go episode by episode and like say what we liked and what we didn't like, but just kind of like talk about overall plot things and what we did and did not like.
I like it. Are you guys ready?
Are you guys ready? All right, so non-spoiler stuff. Stephanie, start us off. What did you think as a whole? Did you like it? Did you not like it?
I like the show a lot. Bruce and I were definitely very invested in it. We gave up a lot of hours of sleep because we were like, we can't go to bed. We need to watch another episode, another episode, another episode. They do a really good job building up the whole story. They do a good job telling the story. They do a good job sets and the transitions. They do a lot of transitions into the past, back into the future. They do a really good job with all of those things. I feel like it's been kind of the theme recently with every show that we watched, that come the last episode, they do something I don't like, and then it ruins the whole thing for me, which I guess I should probably move on from that, let go.
You should let go.
Every time I'm like, why? Why did I have to ruin the last episode and then ruin the whole thing for me? But in general, I enjoyed the show.
Yeah, I would definitely agree. I thought the show was great. The last episode was a little bit disappointing. They are setting things up for a second season, but yeah, I really liked it. I really enjoyed how they handled the flashbacks because they kept on cutting back to World War II in the Nazi camps and like, you know, what would happen, what was happening to the characters that we were following in this. Al Pacino. I forget the kid's mom's name. Hissafta. But it was such a good show, and I loved the plot. I loved how things constantly were twisting and going.
And they do a really good job because they go back and they introduce you to the characters at first, and then one by one, every episode by every episode, go back, flash back to things that have happened to them into their life that had gotten them to this point now where they're Nazi hunters. And they do such a good job of getting you invested into these characters and their lives and the things that they've been through and the pain and the suffering and their stories and what made them who they are and why they're doing what they are today. That you're right there with them. You like, these are your people, and you're like, oh my God, who could do this to my best friend Murray over here?
The Markowitzes were my favorite characters in the show. They were an older couple who were the tech gurus of the Nazi hunting crew, and they were just, you fell in love with them.
Mindy and
Murray. They were just such great characters, but we're gonna go deeper into the characters when we get into the spoiler stuff because we don't want to say too much about that stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought overall the casting was great.
Yeah, they did a really good job. The main character is Jonah in the show. They kind of let you know that from the beginning. The story starts off with him. In my opinion, he's the least interesting story out of everyone.
Agreed. Yeah.
Like they put all their time and effort into Jonah. I guess you're supposed to really get behind him. He kind of ties everything in together, but I thought all the other people's backstories and the acting and the way that they portrayed everything, so much more interesting than Jonah's story.
Yeah, I think that came down to the amount of weight of his story. He was a kid, and he grew up in America and had really nice things, and he had a really nice life, and he had a little bit of a hardship, but it wasn't anything that the other characters went through. Like, when you go back to those flashbacks, holy cannoli guacamole. They went through some effed up stuff. And yeah, so I think that's what his character suffered from personally. He didn't have that hook the other characters did.
I agree. I think we should dive into some spoilers, though.
Oh, yeah. So
we don't want to keep you guys too long.
Yeah, we don't want this to be like a 20-minute review. But overall, we both really enjoyed this show. We will definitely be back for season 2.
And definitely recommend you to watch it. And just ignore the fact that one episode makes me hate everything. I did the same thing with Carnival Row and a couple other shows. It's just the last episode. Lock and Key. Oh my god, don't even get me started on Lock and Key.
But overall, we definitely enjoyed this show. If you were going to rate this 8 or something out of 10, where would you rate this?
It's funny because on Amazon it's like a 7.5, and I would say like a 7.58 out of 10.
Yeah. I think it's right around that 8 mark. It's not amazing where it's gonna blow your minds off, but the story is so good. It's really deep, it's rich, and yeah, the characters are really, really great. So definitely a must watch in our opinion, especially during this pandemic where you are probably locked inside. So definitely check out The Hunters. All right, guys. Spoiler time.
Spoiler.
All right.
You can't say we didn't tell you. Spoiler.
Okay, so Stephanie, what did you like about the story? Because we're going to start off with talking about the story. What we liked and didn't like about the story.
Okay. So like I had said previously, I really enjoyed the flashbacks and all the characters and everything that they've been through. They have people that aren't even from Jewish descent. There's a man named Joe who's fought in Vietnam, and he saw some really fucked up shit, and he's like a master killer, and like they go back and they show all the stuff he's been through, the things that he's experienced. They go through every single thing. They don't spare any details. When they go and they have the flashbacks from Nazi Germany, they show you horrific things that happened to these people and the things that they witnessed and things that happened to their family. It just gets you so invested in these characters. So when like there's an episode, you know, one of the second to last episodes when the main characters die, and I cried like a baby.
Yeah, that was episode 8. It was a hard episode to watch.
By that episode 8, I was so invested in those characters. I felt for them. I loved them. You want to see them succeed. You don't even care that they're killing people. I mean, they're Nazis that they're killing, but like you're not even like, oh, maybe you should report them and do the right thing. You're like, no, kill them more, find their children. Like you're invested. You're on board with what they're doing. So when they die, you're like, oh my god, after everything they've been through, how is this the end for them? And you're I cried hard. Bruce like looked over and I was just like tears. He just like handed me a tissue.
I'll get you a tissue, baby. Don't worry. Knock everything over.
So what did you like, baby, though?
I really enjoyed the casting of the team of Nazi hunters. I thought they did a really good job of getting a rounded team with old Jews. There was Murray and Mindy. There was Al Pacino's character, Meyer Offerman. There the Softa, which she wasn't really...
Her name was Ruth, right?
Ruth, yes. She wasn't really part of the team per se, 'cause she dies in the first episode, but there was a lot of history and a lot of help that she gave this team to help hunt these people. And she kept them being in flashbacks or...
And she's like the main thing that got it all started.
Yeah. You always saw her behind Jonah, like being his like guardian angel. So I thought they did a really good job there. There was they had an amazing black woman. What was her name? Roxy and her act. I can't find her name here.
You keep talking. I'll find Roxy.
But I thought she was great. She had this awesome one line.
Tiffany Boone.
Her daughter asked her at one point, "Mom, are you like a superhero?" And she looks at her daughter and says, "Baby, I am a black woman in America. Superheroes don't got shit on me." And I was like, "You tell him, sister." That was awesome. And then the other character, Josh Radnor, who plays Lonnie Flash, I thought he was a great character. He's a Jewish actor who was just, he was funny. He brought a lot of humor and like he lifted.
Yeah, he lightened the mood.
He definitely lightened the mood throughout the show. So overall, I thought the casting was great. I really, really enjoyed the casting. But I will say, you know, That one German guy. What's his name?
The wolf?
No, not the wolf. The senator or whatever his name was. I hated.
Oh yes, with the hillbilly.
Yes, I hated his casting.
Yes. Biff Simpson.
His character, I don't know. I don't like the actor. He's a good actor. He's done other things. You'll see if you watch this, you'll notice that actor. Didn't like it. Sorry, you were terrible casting for that character. You were hateable.
I mean, he was very hateable. He really made you hate him.
Yeah, I thought, I don't know, he didn't look German, I guess.
He wasn't very scary looking.
He wasn't at all.
He was hateable. You hated him, but you weren't intimidated by him.
No.
He wasn't the stuff of nightmares that the rest of the other actors who played Nazis were.
Oh, yeah. Oh, they're terrifying. But yeah, overall, I thought the casting was really good, and that's one of the main things I enjoyed about it. Other than the story and how it was told, I loved the way you were going from current time to flashback. There was a seamless back and forth that really made it easy to take in all this information and then come back to the current time and just be so invested in the character that you just saw. Like the story of Murray and Mindy, and how they were taken from their homes and their son, and they got there, and then their son was murdered right in front of him, and like Murray was like, he kept on telling his son, I'm never gonna let you go, I'm never gonna let you go, I'm never gonna let you go. And him doing that and telling him that got his son killed. And then, that was so heart-wrenching, God, it was terrifying. I was so bad. They're like, being a father, and it's like, I would have done the same thing, and then knowing that I was part of the reason my son got murdered, and look, God, it's terrifying.
Especially since they both ended up surviving the Jewish internment camps, that their son might have survived if he just didn't act the way he acted.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's just done so well. I will say, actually, before I say anything else, what is one thing you did not like about this show?
Well, we are getting close to our 11-minute mark, so I'm going to quickly tell you. I didn't like the last episode. You knew, or at least I knew, when we first started watching and they had Al Pacino in, I'm like, all right, they can't keep Al Pacino in for 6 seasons. We knew that there was some point they were going to have to kill Al Pacino off throughout the season. They built up the whole season with you thinking that Al Pacino is this Meyer Offerman character, and at the end, either they should have done it 2 to 3 episodes before, or just made Meyer Offerman die in some other way, but they do this twist where Meyer Offerman is really the wolf who's being hunted the whole time.
He's the big bad.
They do it so quickly and so stupidly, and then Jonah is the one who kills him, and you don't buy him as some, like, badass, he's not gonna take crap anymore. Like, in all the casting, he was casted incorrectly, in my opinion. He doesn't look Jewish, he doesn't act tough. Yeah.
Jonah, yeah.
He like, all that. Like, it kind of just ruins the whole rest of the season because you're so invested, you expect all these things, and then they throw this, like, twist, this M. Night Shyamalan twist at the end, and you're like, it made no sense. You were like, what? You just ruined it all for me.
Yeah, the twist at the end was definitely hard to swallow. Like, it shouldn't have happened like that. I can see there was, on Apple, it's rated pretty low.
Yeah, it's like 3 stars. We watched it on Apple TV, but it's on Amazon, but it had like 3 out of 5 stars.
It was either on Amazon, it might have been in the Amazon app, it had 3 stars. So it was rated pretty low there. IMDb has it at 7.5. I definitely still think it's like a 7.58. It's a really good show. It's just that twist at the end. You saw it coming. It's like, what, they're really going to do this? Come on, do not do this.
And it was poorly done.
Yeah.
It could have been done in a different way that maybe wouldn't have been so bad, but it was so stupidly done.
That whole last episode was just garbage.
It's just frustrating because you're so invested in the show and in these characters, and like, we watched episode 8 and 9 back to back. It was so late at that point we couldn't stay up to watch episode 10. I'm so glad we didn't, because if we had gotten like 2 hours of sleep because we watched episode 10 and then that's what happened, I would have been so upset. But we were like so excited to watch episode 10. We like as soon as we had a free minute, we watched it, and then I was like, what?
Yeah, it was hard to swallow. One of the other things that I thought they could have done better is some of the visual effects.
Yeah, there was some scenes where they shot like a bazooka at this truck, and then it was like poof. And like it was like someone ran by holding a stick that had fire on it.
But overall, the rest of the
CGI that it was.
Yeah, the rest of the show was it was just gorgeous. They did a great job making everything look like it was 1970s. They didn't really need a lot of visual effects. I just think I
think next season they'll have better visual effects because they will no longer have to keep the budget of Al Pacino's paychecks. So.
That's true. But overall, I mean, I thought this show was fantastic.
I mean, I'll definitely watch it again. I wish they didn't.
What do you think about that very last scene? Before we sign off, what do you think of that very last scene?
Where they're like now going to Europe to fight.
No. The very last scene.
With
with the big bad woman, the Colonel.
Oh, yeah, so at the end, Adolf Hitler's apparently still alive, and then they stole Joe and brought him to Argentina?
Yeah, there's a couple of weird things that happen in the very end. So Joe gets mad at some reason.
He gets mad because Jonah killed Meyer.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Jonah kills Meyer, and then he tells the team, and then Joe runs off. He's so mad, he doesn't understand. And then a bunch of Germans capture him, and they take him to Argentina, and then sit him at the table, and the Colonel shows up, and then these 4 white Aryan boys sit down next to him.
They look like clones. I'm assuming Adolf Hitler clones.
Oh, maybe. Could be crazy, something like that. And then, yeah, Adolf comes and sits at the table. And why the hell do they have Joe?
So many. I get you have to leave a little something at the end to be like, what's going to happen next season? But it was like they introduced a whole new story at the last episode.
Yeah.
And you're like, what?
Yeah.
Like, you had us this whole story up until the last episode, and then you're like, hey, remember everything you learned? Whole new story. A really stupid story.
Yeah. That was hard. That was just so weird.
It was weird.
It was weird.
It was weird. All right, 15 minutes.
All right, guys. We really enjoyed that show. We highly suggest you guys definitely check it out.
Just watch the last episode. You'll be good. Just leave it wondering what happened.
But yeah, definitely check this video, this show out on Amazon Prime. It's definitely worth your time and your money. And yeah, that's going to do it for this. Expect a lot more from us over the next month because we are both home, working from home, but we are both home. So we are going to hopefully be in front of this camera a lot more. Thank you guys so much. We will see you guys
on the next one.
Peace.
Peace.